WrestleRant. It's to WrestleRant edition number 83. I'm of course your host, Bleacher Report, Bleacher Columnist Level 3, Graham GSM Matthews. First and foremost, I apologize not for doing a Raw review earlier this week. For this week's edition of Monday Night Raw, I only was able to make one video this week due to having an extremely busy week this past week. I felt Bound for Glory was much better than Raw this week and much more meaningful, so I made a review on that instead. But nonetheless, I'm here today to make a WrestleRant review. Not a review of sorts, but our first fan questions video in quite some time. 4 users from Twitter sent me in questions, so I'm going to might as well just ask them or answer those questions. All very good questions. Right here on WrestleRant. So the first question comes on. Well, let me first say this. If I botch your username, I extremely apologize, and I sincerely apologize for that. I am Sin Cara when it comes to pronouncing names, so I'm really, really sorry about that in advance. But nonetheless, I'm Nisar Khan. I apologize again if I botched your name. But nonetheless, your question was, what has been the best match that you have ever witnessed as a wrestling fan? That is a very, very good question. Obviously, for those of you that have known me for quite some time, would know that I've only been a wrestling fan since April 2008. So I would love to say that favorite matches of mine would include Stone Cold versus Steve Austin, or something that included from the Attitude Era, or Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart, the Iron Man match at WrestleMania. I can't though, because I never ever saw those matches. Even if I saw them on YouTube, I did not see them live, so I can't say those are my favorite matches. I just have so many favorite matches, so many favorite moments that it's just hard to explain which one is my all-time favorite. There's just so many of them. There has been quite a bit this year that I've extremely enjoyed, from CM Punk versus Chris Jericho at Extreme Rules to CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan at Over the Limit. I'm trying to think. 08 didn't have all that great many matches that I remember. Same thing with 09. 2010, Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker would be up there as one of the greatest matches I've seen since becoming a wrestling fan. At WrestleMania 25 and WrestleMania 26, both excellent matches. I'm trying to think what else. It would take me a while to come up with all the matches that I've really, really enjoyed. I know there's probably quite a few from over the years, but those are the matches. Oh, you know what? My favorite match of all time, since becoming a wrestling fan, I would have to say, edging out Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, CM Punk versus John Cena, Money in the Bank 2011. I know it's a very cliche answer. Probably a lot of people say that, and probably a lot of younger fans as well, but I have to go with that. I've been a wrestling fan for only 4 years, so that's probably the best match that I've seen in quite some time. It might have not been as good as Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, but the story leading into John Cena versus CM Punk and Money in the Bank last year had me hooked. I loved it. That was when I was truly engaged as a wrestling fan, extremely intrigued the first time throughout the entire year, because I know the first half of 2011 wasn't all that great. So that has to be my match of all time so far up to this point. I know there's probably great matches to come, but up to this point, I would have to say John Cena versus CM Punk would have to be my favorite wrestling match that I've witnessed as a wrestling fan since becoming a fan 4.5 years ago in April 2008. So the next question comes from @DiBiase Angel, just to get my thoughts on Ted DiBiase's return to television. Well, for those of you that don't know, he returns to television tonight on SmackDown to face the United States Champion Antonio Cesaro in a non-title matchup. Ted DiBiase returns from injury after being sidelined with an injury back on WWE Superstars back in March during a match with Jinder Mahal. He was out for about 6 months, made his return at Night of Champions last month in a Battle Royal, was eliminated second from the matchup, and hasn't been seen on television since. And that wasn't even on television, that was on the pre-show on YouTube. So technically he hasn't been seen on television since March or February, which is a hell of a long time. Of course, I am a huge fan of Ted DiBiase, have been since he made his debut in WWE in May 2008. I've loved his work as both a heel and a babyface. I'm loving his work as a babyface since he turned about a year ago, and I think he has a lot of upside to his character. WWE doesn't really know how to use him. His in-ring skills and mic skills are both average, so I think he has what it takes to become a mid-card superstar. I don't see him beating Antonio Cesaro tonight on SmackDown. I think that'd be a great feud, especially since Antonio Cesaro is saying that Americans haven't really been accepting his challenges as of late on Raw, after defeating the likes of Brodus Clay, Tyson Kidd, Justin Gabriel, and all those guys. So I think having him feud with Ted DiBiase will be a fresh matchup, and one matchup we haven't seen yet, as of tonight at least, tonight on SmackDown. But even still, I'm looking forward to that match tonight on SmackDown. Hopefully Ted DiBiase gets a push down the line. He is a very valuable mid-carder. I've said this before, but the mid-card in WWE today is dead. Even more dead than the Divas division at the moment. I know that's extremely hard to believe as well. I know Kofi Kingston is the new Intercontinental Champion. If I have time, I'll probably discuss that at the end of this video. But besides Miz, Kofi Kingston, who else you got in the mid card? I mean, Dolph, Rhodes, and Barrett. I asked a question on Twitter a few days ago: who would challenge Kofi Kingston for the Intercontinental Championship? People were saying Cody Rhodes, Dolph Ziggler, Wade Barrett. All those guys are in the upper mid card and should not be going back for the Intercontinental Championship. All guys are former IC champions and no longer need that title, so that I don't want to see them feuding with Kofi Kingston, especially since the fact that all of them have feuded with Kofi in the past, and I don't really want to see any of those matches again being repetitive. Maybe Sando at some point. He's a very good mid-carder. Same with Daniel Bryan. I don't want to see him become an Intercontinental Champion. He's way above that at this point. But even still, I mean, those guys can put on great matches. Kingston and more so with Antonio Cesaro. And DiBiase is one of those guys that could be a very valuable mid-carder if utilized correctly. And I hope that he does eventually get entered into a feud with Antonio Cesaro at some point over the United States Championship. Up next from Enrique Cena, your question was, do you think it would be too soon to use Ryback in the main event plus a title shot? Here's my thoughts on Ryback. Well, I know I didn't do a Raw review this week as far as WrestleRant goes. I talked about it on both Spoilers and SAVE US GSM and on my website, so go check out all those outlets for my complete thoughts on Raw. But I do think it is too soon to put the title on Ryback as WWE Champion. Of course, he's only been in WWE for the past 6 months if you don't count his run of Skip Sheffield a couple years ago. So with that being said, it is of course too early to put the title on Skip Sheffield. Is it possible they will put the championship on him come Hell in a Cell? Of course it is. Of course it's very likely. Vince McMahon is very high on him, and I don't blame him. I've been a huge Ryback / Skip Sheffield mark since he debuted as Skip Sheffield in February 2010, a part of the NXT Season 1. So I would not be surprised to see him shockingly win the WWE Championship in the same fashion that Sheamus did at TLC 2009. Do I want to see him win the title so quickly? Absolutely not. I think Ryback is a future star, maybe a future world champion, just not right now. I think now is the worst time as possible. CM Punk has been holding the championship since Survivor Series last year and is only mere weeks away from defeating John Cena and Diesel's reigns as WWE Champion, one of the longest in the last 10 to 15 years. So I really, really want to see John Cena, his reign get extended or exceeded by CM Punk. So hopefully CM Punk goes on to defeat Ryback, to break the records. Do I want him to defeat Ryback? Absolutely not. Ryback's winning streak as of late should not be broken by CM Punk at the very moment. A lot of people have been speculating that Brock Lesnar could very well interfere in the matchup and make his presence known, thus forming an alliance between him and Heyman and Punk. It's very possible. It protects Ryback. It keeps CM Punk's WWE title reign intact. That's a very good strategy to have Brock Lesnar back. I don't think they're going to use one of his valuable dates. I know he has only very limited dates since returning to the WWE, a part of his contract, so I don't think they're going to waste that at Hell in a Cell and have him back so quickly. I know they might have him back for Survivor Series next month. Maybe not Hell in a Cell. It's possible. I'd love to see it, but we're going to have to wait and see. But those are my thoughts on Ryback and the WWE Championship picture. So the final question for today's WrestleRant comes from Farzi1991, and your question was, do you think John Cena deserves another title reign? A very, very good question. Does he deserve another title reign at the moment? No. And I'm not saying that just because I'm not a John Cena supporter. I respect John Cena. I've said that multiple times. I'm not a John Cena hater. I just don't like his character all that much. Right now, he's doing fine. He's been engaging in serious promos. He put over Ryback on Monday night. That was great to see. He had a funny promo last week on Raw. So I've been enjoying what John Cena's been doing in light of his injury in recent weeks since he can't compete. I don't want to see John Cena win the WWE Championship from CM Punk. If anyone's going to beat CM Punk for the WWE Championship, it should be Rock at the Royal Rumble, and John Cena could very well go on to WrestleMania to beat Rock for that WWE Championship to win his first WWE title since Hell in a Cell last year. That's the last time Cena held the title. So I would love to see that. That'd be good booking, in my opinion. I would have nothing against John Cena winning back the title at WrestleMania, but does he deserve another title shot right now? No. After losing to CM Punk at Night of Champions, technically he didn't lose as a draw, so don't bash me on that one. But he did lose at SummerSlam despite not being pinned. He did lose, and he failed to win the WWE Championship at Raw 1000. So CM Punk makes a very good point, despite being a heel and getting booed and all that shit. I do think he makes a very good point in saying that John Cena does not deserve another title shot despite pinning the champion in a tag team match a few weeks ago on Raw. Cena should win a number one contenders match or something along those lines. Honestly, I did want to see Cena go for the championship at Hell in a Cell in a triple threat match with Ryback and Punk. That would have made the most sense to me, but I believe John Cena's injury avoided and prevented that from happening. So maybe we will see that match at Survivor Series. I'm not exactly sure. But in a nutshell, John Cena should not be WWE Champion by the end of 2011. I'm sorry, by the end of 2012. Maybe at WrestleMania by beating Rock for the title. If they do go that direction, I would like to see that. That'd be great booking and passing the torch to Cena in the process. I'd love to see that, but right now, no, he should not be WWE Champion. So that about wraps it up for the fan question sent to me from Twitter, guys, and from my Twitter tweet. So if you guys like to send me a question for me to answer here on WrestleRant, make sure to tweet me at @save_us_GSM. Just a variety of topics going on in wrestling today, from Kofi Kingston and The Miz and the Intercontinental Championship picture, and everything that I just said about Ryback, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, and the WWE Championship, all that being a huge controversy at the moment. I give my complete thoughts and all that stuff on my Spoilers podcast. You guys can find at blogtalkradio.com/spoilers podcast. Just recently did one with Ben Gartland a few days ago. We are approaching our 1-year anniversary this upcoming week, next Friday, a week from today. So that's going to be epic. Make sure to check that out. We don't air on a specific day/time. We just kind of vary. So just make sure to check up on my Twitter feed for updates on that. Same with SAVE US GSM. We just had our best episode ever this past Wednesday night. I had Donald Wood on the show. That was absolutely awesome. The archive will be up in a bit, so make sure to go check that out. And if you'd like a spot on SAVE US GSM for a week to guest host with me, you can hit me up on Twitter again at @save_us_GSM. So make sure to subscribe, guys. I really do appreciate all the views that you guys give me and all the feedback I get in the videos. And I'll see you guys later, and enjoy your weekend. This is GSM signing out. Until next time, guys.